What's up, guys? So I have a few minutes here, waiting on my client to come back. While I have a few moments here, I just wanted to share a couple ideas. Because this morning, one of my favorite groomers to follow, his name is Miguel Rodriguez. He makes some incredible dog outfits, like incredible. Oh shoot, are we still live? All right. So we are still. Sorry, I just got my phone call. So my client will be back here in about 10 minutes. So I got about 10 minutes to finish my thoughts here. So Miguel Rodriguez was streaming live today talking about haters, and that's something that kind of is a sensitive topic for me because I mean everybody knows I've been dealing with haters since my my entire career, and a lot of times I get wrapped up in my emotions and I address my haters and I get all emotional. That's not good. And the idea was because um, you know, like I thought that haters was it's not good to have haters. I was like, oh, I'll show them. And the thing is, I realize haters are some of your best resources. Seriously, you want haters. Here's why. Haters by nature highlight your weaknesses, your flaws, your mistakes. That's what they do. That's what they specialize in. Haters are experts at picking out your flaws and your failures and your mistakes, reminding you of them, right? That's what haters do. So it's almost like hiring a consultant, but saving the money. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars to have a consultant come and show you where you can improve. Just get more haters around you, and they'll tell you where you can improve. They may say it in a way that angers you, but just control that. I remember one time this one person commented on one of my YouTube videos. They were like, "You talk way too much," and I remember thinking, my first response was, "Well, then don't watch my stuff." My second, then I realized that's not a good response. And so then I realized, wait a minute, they might be right. Let me try to be more concise. Let me try to make my ideas more brief, right? And so, hey, the joke's on them. Even if they said it in a way to attack me, if I turn it into a good thing for myself, if I benefit from their criticism, hey, the joke's on them, right? It only improves my game. So, failures, why you shouldn't avoid failures even, because with every failure, you learn how to do it better the next time, right? And a failure is only a failure if you give up. If you take the lessons that you learn from your failures and you apply it to your next attempt, then it's not a failure. It's actually it happened for your benefit. My business even. I mean, I failed so many times, but I didn't give up, and I found a way to make my grooming style work. I got rid of the overhead. I got rid of everything that wasn't necessary for my style of grooming. I just needed a place to groom that's safe, and I needed, good grooming tools and time. I needed time to do it because of my style, especially during this time of year. Dogs are just shedding. There's a lot more going on in their skin, so I need more time. So I figured out a way to make it work. Um, my school, even when I start a grooming school here in Atlanta, I'm pretty sure the first school I start here is probably going to fail. I mean, it's just the odds are it probably will not work out the first attempt. But I know that that's a bridge that I have to cross. I can't not try to start a grooming school here just because I'm scared of failure. No, I have to be willing to cross that bridge and say I am going to put my everything into it. I'm going to do my best to make the most valuable school here in Atlanta for dog groomers. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to make it excellent. But if I fall flat on my face and I go in debt again and I fail, then hey, that actually excites me because I know that with that failure, I'm going to learn things that I could not have ever learned otherwise. I'm going to get answers to questions that I didn't even know to ask, you know? And then my second attempt will be much better. Even if I fail the first time trying to build a school here in Atlanta, I know that through that failure, my second attempt will be even better. So don't avoid failures. And your haters, they're your best resource, seriously. Um, they're going to point out all of the things that you do wrong, that you're not good at, your mistakes, everything. And thank them because now you know what to work on, right? So instead of hiring consultants, just get more haters. And here's how you get more haters: keep doing things and accomplishing your goals. Keep writing goals, measurable goals that you can work towards and make measurable progress towards, and keep growing. keep doing better, because as you grow and as you rise, inevitably that causes more haters to come to you. Just draw more haters, the attention of more haters, the higher you rise. So the answer is not to stay quiet, not to stay low. The answer is to keep trying, keep striving, and to try to do your best, because that's going to draw the haters out and they're going to start to attack you. And every time they do, take what they're saying and say, okay, where is the piece of truth to that? Because not all of it's going to be true. But if they say, hey, you talk too much, for my example, you talk too much. Okay, perfect. I probably do talk too much. So let me figure out how I can make my ideas more concise, not waste too many people's times, not use too many filler words. So I started to go to Toastmasters, and I'm going to make a speech there tonight. Anyways, my point is, don't be scared of trying something and giving it your all and falling flat on your face and embarrassing yourself, feeling ashamed at everybody pointing and laughing at you. Don't worry about that. And if somebody says, hey, stupid, you're an idiot, you can even ask why. Why do you think I'm an idiot? I mean, I'm not disagreeing. It's probably true. But what specifically causes you to think that I'm an idiot? Well, because when I see some of your grooming videos, I see the dog fell off the table. You're an idiot. Great. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'm gonna make sure that I, am more aware, and I'm, that's the thing, is like, haters usually try to hurt you, but they can never hurt you if every time they say something to attack you, you take it and you turn it around and make yourself even better because of their criticism. Then you never lose, right? So I just wanted to share that if you have people hating on you, if you have people saying things that you feel is unfair, turn it around on them, and say, thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. And you did it for free. I didn't even have to pay you for any consultation fee or anything. Like I would have had to pay somebody to come and do some examination and, try to do some work and figure out where I can improve. You did it for free. Thank you so much, hater. I appreciate that, And failures. With every failure, you gain experience, Feeling the shop, with the retail shop that I had, the Furific Spa in Buckhead. Now I know when I negotiate for a new space, I know to ask for build out money. I know to ask for, I know all these terms now because I didn't know that before. And by going through it and failing and saying, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that, I didn't know. Now, if I ever get a new retail spot, I can do it so much better because of that failure that I went through. You see what I'm saying? So even tonight's speech, I actually canceled it because I was getting behind today, and then I was going to be late for my next appointment. But things just worked out today where I canceled my next appointment. We rescheduled for this Thursday, and now I'm going to go to Toastmasters tonight and deliver that speech. But this is the same speech that I've been trying to make at this Toastmasters meeting for the past 3-4 weeks now. And I think a part of it is that I'm scared to deliver this speech because it's how to self-publish a book. And I'm speaking in front of these professionals, and they're probably all much more successful than I am. And here I am trying to give them a speech about how to write a book and publish it, But I guess I'm afraid of looking foolish, of embarrassing myself. But I have to be willing to cross that bridge. I have to be willing to get up there and make a fool of myself so that the next time I have an opportunity to do that, I will be better. But I'll never get better without going through that failure. You see what I'm saying? And then there are no haters there at the Toastmasters meetings. But let's just say there was. Let's just say there was a hater there. And after the speech, he's like, good job, bro. Way to go up there and flop, Maybe he'll say, way to use a bunch of filler words, ahs and ums and you knows and buts and stuttering up there. You really wasted my time, Then instead of taking offense, I could say, wow, thank you so much. Do you have any other suggestions? Do you have any other feedback that I can use? to be better the next time, you know? And here's the thing, even if somebody was saying something critical to you and they meant to hurt your feelings, if you don't allow that, if you decide not to allow them to hurt your feelings and you decide to take it in a good, more positive way, then the joke's on them. And actually, you may actually create a strong ally. So I'm going to finish with this. One example, when I started a new job at Nissan, Gwinnett Place Nissan, for the new salesman, because we don't have a lot of leads, we just started and everything, so they give you a list of people like to call, these dead deals, they call them, deals that just didn't work out. And they have like birthdays, right? So they print out all the people that have a birthday that month. I started going down, calling the list, right? And I mean, I was leaving these long messages. Hi, this is June with Gwinnett Place Nissan, and I'm gonna, all this stuff. And if you're in the market for a car, and then finally, this one guy, he was one of the top salesmen. He goes, I hear him. I don't even see him. I just hear, hey, stop that. Hey, what's up, Tanya? What's up, Mandy? So I hear from behind me, from the desk, hey, stop that. You're wasting your time. You're wasting everyone else's time too, right? And I put the phone down. I looked. And here's this guy, looking out his cubicle towards me, and he's like kind of giving me this look, right? And so I wanted to say, my knee-jerk reaction, I wanted to say, hey, how about you mind your own business? How about you do things your way and just let me do things my way? How about that? Would that be okay? I wanted to be petty, but I knew that he was one of the top salesmen. So something inside me at that moment told me, let's turn this around. Right? Let's be grateful. So then I told him, I was like, wow, thank you so much. And I won't say his name, but I was like, thank you so much. We'll just call him Brian. Well, thank you so much, Brian. I really appreciate that. I was like, I'm a new salesman here. I know that you're one of the top salesmen. For you to even take your time to help me and give me some advice, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And he looked at me because I don't think he was expecting that. He just looked at me. And I looked at him back and I was like, I mean it. I was like, I appreciate it. I'm not going to make I'm not making these phone calls anymore, And he goes, come outside with me. And I was like, oh, is it going down? No, I was kidding. I didn't think that we were about to fight or anything, but he's just like, come outside with me. So I was like, okay. So I follow him outside, right? And then he starts to tell me all these things. He was like, listen, I seen you, with your client, with the customers, and I see how you do things. He's like, you're very excited, you're very enthusiastic, energetic. He was like, but none of that actually matters, And he started giving me pointers of how I can get right to the point of what they need, how I can help them, and save a lot of time, right? And then for one thing that really, I still remember to this day, I was like, what about when they try to trip you up? They try to catch you on stuff and they try to make you seem like you don't really know what you're doing and stuff. And he was like what? And I was like, well, for example, this Nissan Sentra or something, right? I was like, what if somebody asks you how many cubic inches are in the trunk space of this Nissan Sentra or Nissan, whatever? And he goes, he was like, are we doing, like, are we role playing? I was like, yeah. I was like, what if I'm a customer and you're trying to make a deal with me and I'm being hard. I'm being a hard ass. And I say, how many square cubic inches of trunk space is in this Nissan? And he goes, compared to yours? He was like, what are you driving right now? And I was like, don't worry about what I'm driving, right? Because I had like a old 82 Toyota. Anyways, I was like, don't worry about what I'm driving. He was like, well, compared to your car, I mean, how many cubic inches of trunk space do you have in your car right now? And I was like, I don't know. He was like, well, then why does it matter? He was like, if you wouldn't even, he was like, you don't need to know how many cubic inches of square trunk space is in this car if you don't even know how many cubic inches are in your car. Why do you need to know that? He was like, compared to your car, what are you driving? And I told him, he was like, compared to your car, it has more. And I was like, wow. He was like, I'm not even going to address that question. He was like, I'm going to figure out why he's asking it. And I was like, wow. And he gave me all this advice. And the crazy thing is, there was another day we were out there, we were talking, he was giving me some advice and giving me pointers. And there was a group of guys there, outside smoking cigarettes and stuff. I was like, hey guys, I was like, you gotta come talk to this, you gotta come talk to Brian. I was like, he's got so much, and he tapped me, he like hit me on my shoulder, right? He was like, stop that. I was like, what? And he was like, stop that. He was like, I'm not giving away this information to people who don't, who don't matter, who don't deserve it. And I was like, whoa, really? I was like, but I don't, I thought, I was like, don't we want to be helpful? And he was like, that's like throwing pearls to the swine. He was like, why would I waste my time giving advice and trying to help these people if they're not even going to value it? He was like, they're useless. I'm not going to spend my time with them. And I realized at that moment that he wouldn't have wasted his time with me either had I not shown him that I'm willing to take his advice. I'm willing to consider feedback, and I'm willing to change. I'm willing to change the way I'm behaving. If if I knew better, I would do better. And so yeah, he would not have wasted his time on me had I had the very first time when he said, "Hey, stop making those phone calls. You're wasting everyone's time, and you're wasting your time. You're wasting everyone else's time too." If I turned around and said, "Hey, why don't you mind your own business?" I bet he would have just said, "Okay." And then he would have continued on being one of the top salesmen, and I would have continued on being one of the worst, right? But because I swallowed my pride, I killed my ego at that moment. I put my ego aside and I said, "Thank you." I did not consider that. I didn't consider that I'm wasting my time and everyone else's time as well. Thank you so much for letting me know that I'm not going to make these phone calls anymore, and I'm not going to leave these long voice messages anymore. You know, that's when he said to himself, this is someone who's coachable. This is someone who's teachable. Let me spend some of my time on him. He said, come outside with me. But then another day when all those guys, smoking cigarettes, just, bullshitting around, when I tried to call them over and say, hey, guys, come here, we're having this awesome conversation. Like, he's got so many great tips and advice, boom, he hit me, it's like, stop that. He was like, don't do that, stop that. And I was like, oh, okay, never mind. I was like, why? And he was like, it's a waste of time. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, even if you do have somebody who you think is hating on you, if you just put your pride and ego aside for a moment and say, thank you, I didn't consider that. And now I'm going to be even better because of what you just told me, right? That person may actually turn out to be your greatest ally. So just consider that. And your failures, falling flat on your face, embarrassing yourself in public, trying really hard and getting your heart smashed into 1,000 pieces anyways, don't avoid that. That is actually going to make you better. You'll never grow if you don't feel the need to. And a lot of times it's our failures that points out the things that we need to work on, that we continue to deny or ignore our entire lives. But once you fall flat on your face, a lot of times there's no denying it. You have to, it forces you to confront those character flaws, and then you can change, and then you can get better once you accept it. Anyways, hopefully that helps, guys. Especially if you're dealing with failure, if you're dealing with haters, if you're dealing with all of that negativity, flip it around and turn it into a positive, because it will change your life for the better. See you guys.